Over the past year or so, I've made a couple videos detailing lost Pokémon that we'll probably never see. Pokémon that have been stated or have been implied to exist within the Pokémon world itself that we have never seen before, but unfortunately probably never will for one reason or another. There are still Pokémon out there that are like this that I didn't cover previously in those past two videos, and since you guys have been so supportive of the first two, I figured a third part was in order. So without further ado, let's check it out. Our first lost Pokémon of the day is also the most recent one that's been mentioned, and that's the complete form of Reggie Drago. Reggie Drago is a new dragon-type version of the Reggie family that's due to debut in the Crown Tundra expansion of Sword and Shield. But the Reggie Drago we will see in the games is not the Reggie Drago that was intended to exist. In fact, it's only one part of it. We know this because it's stated on the Pokemon Sword and Shield website that when Regigigas was creating Reggie Drago, it ran out of the crystallized dragon energy it was using to create the Pokemon, and was only able to complete its head. From there, Reggie Drago was sealed away before it could be completed for fear of the potentially destructive power it could have. So even though Reggie Drago is a Pokemon in and of itself, it's also only one part of an even larger Pokemon that was planned to be created by Regigigas that never came to fruition. We'll sadly likely never see this completed form of this dragon legendary because it doesn't seem like this is the kind of thing that's actually going to be brought to fruition by the developers, but we can definitely be certain that this Pokemon would have been terrifyingly powerful, considering that only one part of its body is still strong enough to be its own legendary Pokemon. I would love to see this concept explored more, and I guess we'll have to wait and see what Reggie Drago has in store for us in the Crown Tundra to know for sure, but it's likely that the complete Reggie Drago will never see the light of day. Speaking of Reggies, they're also amongst a select group of Pokemon that have the ability to have one of their species in existence of every type. We've seen this with the Reggies, where there are Ice, Steel, Rock, and now Dragon and Electric type versions of them, but other Pokemon like Eevee and its evolutions are also able to attain this, as well as Rotom with its many forms. There are even more Pokemon that have this ability as well, but it's very unlikely that we will actually get to see each one of them produce a version of themselves of every type. However, unlike the other entries on this list, it's entirely possible that we could see some of them. For example, I'm sure we will get another evolution someday, and we might even get some more Rotom forms, but it's practically guaranteed that we won't see one of every type of these Pokemon, at least in our own lifetimes anyway. The real mystery is what types we will see and what ones we won't see. It's obviously impossible to know, but since getting a new type of these Pokemon who have the potential to be every type is such a rare treat, it's just not going to happen frequently enough for us to see these Pokemon with every type before we're all dead and gone. However, that is kinda the fun of it all, wondering what type of evolution we could get next, for instance. And now that new Reggies are being added as well, could we see any more added for other types too? That's a pretty fascinating question, and one that we're just gonna have to wait and see on to find out for sure. Some more lost Pokemon that are also more recent that absolutely could and should exist, but weren't fully explored in the games are the remaining Galar fossils. Now, I'm not referring to the original forms of the fossil Pokemon because I actually mentioned those in one of the previous videos of this series. Instead, I'm referring to the fossil combinations that weren't explored and given a resulting Pokemon. The Galar fossils are unique in that each of them consist of two halves of two different fossils that are then restored and brought into the modern day. There are also 4 different fossils that you can find in the Galar region that make up these Pokemon, and those consist of the Drake, Dino, Fish, and Bird fossils. Once you find 2 of these fossils, you can combine them together to make either Dracovish, Arctovish, Arctozolt, or Dracozolt. But past these 4, there are still more combinations that could be made that aren't explored in terms of them being an actual Pokemon. For instance, the Drake fossil isn't ever combined with the dino, and the bird isn't ever combined with the fish. This leaves 2 more Galar fossil combinations that should absolutely be able to take place based on the fact that the others are, but aren't given a Pokemon of their own. Since combining pieces of fossils and restoring them is such a unique concept that probably will end up being unique to the Galar region, it's likely that this won't be revisited, and unless these fossil combinations come about in the Crown Tundra somehow, it's looking like the Galar-based games themselves are also running out of time to eventually include them as well. These Pokemon are kinda divisive amongst the community, however, so this might not be a big deal if you hate them, but the fact of the matter is there are 2 theoretically canonical fossil Pokemon out there who are in all likelihood never going to get the chance to be seen, and that is a huge shame. A more unique case in this category concerns one of the most infamous quote-unquote lost Pokemon of all time, Mew III. Mew III has been the stuff of playground legend since Pokemon began, but it's never really been an actual thing, at least in the games anyway. Believe it or not, Mew III has been mentioned on multiple occasions in both the anime and the manga, being referred to in the first Pokemon movie after the success of the creation of Mew II, and in the Pokemon Pocket Monsters manga, it was cheekily referred to by name as well. So does this mean that there was some kind of plan for it in the games too? Well, probably not. But that's why this is a more unique case in terms of being a lost Pokemon, because even though Game Freak aren't responsible for the anime and manga, these mentions show that Mew III is on the radar of the Pokemon Company at large and those who create its content, and it makes you wonder how much, if at all, Game Freak has ever considered it themselves. If they have, they've obviously passed it up in terms of making it an actual Pokemon, effectively condemning it to the life of a playground rumor. The inkling, though, that it has been used in an official capacity leaves that door open, even if ever so slightly that it might have been explored as a possibility for the games at one time as well. One interesting subset of Pokemon that we'll probably never know the true identity of, and that's the way it was intended to be, are Pokemon with secret identities. Pokemon such as Tangela, Mimikyu, Fortress, and even Cubone to an extent, we have never truly seen in terms of the way they actually look. These Pokemon's true faces, and sometimes their entire bodies, have been obscured in one way or another, to the point that we really have no idea who these Pokemon truly are. They obviously have an identity that we all know and love, but it's one that isn't really them. For example, a Pokemon like Mimikyu is completely obscured. What we see on the outside is just an old Pikachu plush or costume, and the Pokemon on the inside could literally be anything. Even a Pokemon like Cubone, who we can see most of, has its face covered by its mother's skull, and for all we know, the appearance of Cubone without the skull could be completely different to how any of us imagine it. It would be truly amazing to see even just one of these Pokemon without their signature coverings and disguises, because what's underneath is sure to be practically an entirely different Pokemon, and the mystery of it all is truly fascinating in each case. However, since these disguises are what these Pokemon do, it's unlikely that their true identities will ever be revealed, and we'll just have to keep wondering for years to come. Well, there we have it. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you'd like to support the channel and the production of videos just like this, consider checking out my Pokemon remixes on Spotify and watching my Pokemon Cardinal series here on YouTube, both of which immensely help out the channel and are super appreciated. With that said, I will see you guys with another video very soon, and until then, as always, I love you guys, and I will smell you guys later.